New look, new feel. What can I tell you? We're always trying to change things and make them better. If it doesn't make it better, I know we'll hear from you in the comments. So we can't go wrong. We've got like our own inbuilt immune system to bad change. It's called you, the comment section. And even those people who sit at home and go, I was going to comment, but I don't care enough. We get that feedback. We get the vibes. And then we're like, oh, shit, we better change things back. Anyway, we're trying something new this morning. And as always, on a Wednesday, and for the last time, actually, Jack Motlanthe.
Good morning.
Wop, wop, wop. So why is it your last time again? You've got so much other stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
You're so busy, and you can't dedicate the 2 hours that no one else cares about in the week. I mean, who's clamoring for your 6 to 8 on a Wednesday morning?
Exactly.
Well.
And the thing is, truthfully, like we've been solving the world's problems every Wednesday since Jan.
I was quite looking forward to doing this every day for the rest of this year.
It's a lot of responsibility.
See, this is why I don't get married. Every time I get into a nice rhythm, someone fucks it up. It's never me. All right? They always duck out. They're like, oh, I can't come anymore. I can't be with you. I can't. It's too much. It's a
but I mean,
story of my life.
No, I feel like I'm the teenager that's finally passed matric, and you can't wait to get me out of the house.
No, I didn't say I wanted to get rid of you. Don't turn this on me.
I think it's just time for me to grow up.
What? Like you were being so childish here on this show. You made more sense than most people who've been on the show. What are you talking about? So Jack Motlante's last show this morning, but you know what? Shit changes like the set.
Yeah.
JP says, I missed a few shows. Put that back up. Won't happen again. It's good to be back. Entertain me, gentlemen.
We'll do.
Are you not entertained? What do you mean? All right. So today we have a bunch of really cool stuff. We started a discussion last week about people's entrepreneurial journeys. And when ever anybody used the word journey, I like immediately get freaked out because I mean, it's like such a substitute for every other experience. Sorry. That experience being like, people will say, for example, I had a bad day at work, and I immediately know what that means. You didn't have a fun time. Your boss fought with you. You were arguing about money. You didn't do something you were meant to do, and someone caught you out on it, or whatever. Makes sense. If you said my journey at work today was just not great, I'm like, what? The journey to work? Because a journey means the travel part of. It's come to mean everything, right? You get these people who are like, my life's journey, and just don't do that. Don't. You're not Marco Polo. You are not Magellan. You are not Scott and Peary and Amundsen. Okay, you're not. You're not an explorer who's going into uncharted territory. You're not. Who are those two who went off into the Wild West and wrote all the books about it, or they discovered all these new animals in North America and all the rest? You're not those people. You're not. You're a middle management HR representative in a large South African corporation based in Sandton.
Yeah.
You don't have a journey, okay? Your journey is the N1. So stop it. I'm just like, don't pervert the language. We have words for a reason. Come on, Jack, back me up. Back me up on this. We do. Like, this is such enough of this shit of journeys, okay?
It's an over inflated sense of self. Like, you're like the center of the universe.
You're the hero in this drama, in this story, in this movie production that you think people will watch. No one is watching your boring career movie. No one. Okay. No one's watching mine.
In fact,
no one's watching Jack's. No one's watching. No one even knows. Do you know what Tom Cruise does outside of his movies?
No.
That's Scientology. And that's fucking boring. So, you know what? The camera doesn't follow him everywhere. And the reason the camera doesn't follow you anywhere, let alone everywhere, except on your social media maybe, is because you're boring. That's okay. You know what we need? We need more boring people. Boring people who get stuff done.
Yep.
I would rather deal with 10 boring people today who know what they're doing, who are effective and efficient, and don't have dreams about journeys and being the star in their movie and I'm making a difference in all these people's lives. Just like, how about get the balance sheet right, or park straight in your parking, or don't spill the coffee.
Yeah.
Like these are very basic things that those people who are journeying don't seem to understand. It's like you're not getting the basics right, Mafalda or whatever your name is. Let's focus on those. How about you worry less about the color of your shoes today because you think, I don't know, you're going to be Mary Jane and Spider-Man, and you worry about making sure that those teaspoons are nice and shiny. How about that?
Yeah.
Because that would be good for all of us. You know what? Jack can't do everything. I can't do everything. James and Flex can't do everything. So we need other people to do some of those things.
Yeah.
Some of those people are more important than we are. Some are maybe less important than we are. Doesn't matter. That's your place. It's not a journey. It's a job.
How does Animal Farm start again? All animals are
created equal.
Yeah.
Some are more equal than others.
There's the truth. In 2 sentences.
Well, I've always hated that because to me, what he's trying to do is he's trying to outline how socialism works. He's not really talking about equality at all. But I heard Kamala Harris. Oh, wow. I heard her trying to explain in an old interview because, you know, she hasn't done a single interview since she became the Democrat nominee. Not one interview. Kamala Harris has not spoken to the press once in 38, 39, 40 days, somewhere around there.
Did you hear the reasoning behind it?
Because when she opens her mouth, just shit pours out.
Well, that's our reasoning for it. But to my understanding, it's because if she were to do an interview or debate Donald Trump, it's only going to go south from there. Like
well,
they think she's a bit insulated because she hasn't said anything on a microphone in a while.
They're embarrassed. It's like when you have a new girlfriend and she's not great looking and you don't want her to meet your friends. That's kind of what it's like. She's like the ugly girlfriend that you keep hidden away until there's that one occasion where you just can't. Like it's a family wedding or whatever. And secretly you're into her because you got some weird kinky thing going on, like, and she just is revolting and you bring her out of the cupboard or whatever she's in. You're like, so you got to dress up today, Hildegard. And she comes with you to the wedding and everyone's like, oh. That's what's happening there. They know they don't want her in front of a microphone. They don't want her in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Anything that's not prepared speeches. And apparently she'll do a debate, but she wants to have notes next to her the whole time. She wants to be able to consult her notes. Sounds to me like someone who's got nothing between her ears.
Yeah, no, that's problematic.
I mean God bless her, but even Hillary, who everyone hates, right? Like there's not a person in America who likes Hillary Clinton. There just isn't. There's no one. No one has ever gone, oh, you know, love Hillary Clinton. No one. No one's ever said that. Not even Bill.
Uh-huh.
And not even when he married her. He was like, well, I got to do what I got to do. But even her, like Hillary, you could put her in front. I'll give her credit, okay? You could put her in front of a camera or a microphone.
Yeah.
And Hillary will, like, she's got a brain. I don't know how good it is now, but back in her heyday, she could answer any question and she'd have an idea and she'd sometimes obfuscate a little bit like politicians do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of them do it, right? They circle around things. They don't really answer the question. By the time they've given their answer, you seldom even remember what the question was.
True.
And they
in
know
fact, that's the mark of a good politician, actually.
Sadly.
At least as far as
sadly
communication is concerned. If they can't, juke and move, then you've got problems.
The best part of this is that there are now American writers who are busy saying that Doug Emhoff, who is Kamala Harris's husband, that he is the perfect man. And they're all swooning for Doug Emhoff.
Oh, no.
Now, Doug Emhoff.
Oh, no.
I mean, he looks like the headmaster of a very average performing school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like the school that just never wins anything. No sport, no cultural activities, no academic awards. It's like that school. In fact, every cartoon of every high school in America's headmaster is Doug Emhoff. But people are in love with the idea that because he supports Kamala, he's got to be a good guy.
He's a, what does TikTok call it? Sigma male. apparently.
Is that, yeah, Sigma.
Sigma, yeah. He's
Yeah.
one of those.
Gen
And it's
Z,
like,
they like that word.
yeah, my problem is, as you said, like he does look like a very weak headmaster. One of those that would walk down the corridor and just get hit with a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, people would throw
like
their
no one
books
has
at him,
any
yeah.
respect
Yeah,
for him
right.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like
hey.
every time I see a picture of him, he looks like he wants to say something, but he never does.
Well, he looks like he's worried that Kamala will send him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think they're telling her to shut up, imagine how much shutting up he's been doing over the years. Anyway.
One more thing. I
Go
just
on.
wanted to find out. Like, America's only had male presidents.
Yeah, so it'd be
And it would be first lady.
first gentleman.
First gentleman.
They've already worked this out. He would be the
Okay.
first. He's already called the second gentleman, which has got to be like the crappiest title. I would rather be Lord God of Shit Creek than second gentleman. I mean, first of all, it's such a put down to be second anything. Like no one cares who came second. Name the person who came second in any event at the Olympics.
Yeah, I can't.
Right? No one. Crickets, even the South Africans. I think we got a silver somewhere, but nobody really remembers. Nobody remembers who is in second in command in a military unit.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers who the vice president under Ronald Reagan was.
Oh shit! Yeah, crickets.
Right?
Yeah.
Who was the running mate for Hillary Clinton in that election? In her election against Donald Trump. Who was her second? Who was her vice president? So nobody knows. Nobody knows. The reality is that, like, it's the most humiliating thing to be second in anything, because it means you were that close to becoming first, but you missed it. History's going to condemn you to being like, oh, you're over there in the rubbish bin next to first.
Yeah,
but also, I mean, from third on, you weren't even in the runnings, so nobody really cares. But then to be second gentleman, I mean, no matter what kind of a guy you are, and listen, I'm no male dominant chauvinist, like guys have got to run everything, chicks are dumb, like, you know, those fucking bros.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys, but there isn't a man in the world who appreciates being second.
No.
Especially not to a girl. I mean, if he does, there's something wrong with him. And frankly, what girl's going to be attracted to a guy like that?
I think that's the bigger question.
There isn't, again, like, you girls, please, if you're in the comments section and you disagree violently with me, please go ahead. I'd love to hear if there's a woman anywhere in the world who honestly, when no one is looking and you can remain anonymous, honestly goes, you know, I'm so attracted to that, like, weak guy. He's the guy for me. That weak guy who couldn't protect me from the postman throwing a letter a little bit too hard. That's the guy I find attractive.
Yeah, I those are women that just, I don't know, they like that lady that you had on the show a few weeks ago that's like a dominatrix. They have to be dominant women. Otherwise, what's the point?
And by the way, I don't blame the girls. I mean, like, I think that there's a lot going on in society at the moment that makes it hard for women to say what they actually want.
Yeah.
Because there are expectations placed on them, often by other women, not just by men, but often by men. And then they put in this invidious position where they have to say something which gets them social points, but deep down inside it gets them no happiness.
It gets them nowhere.
And the same goes for guys, by the way. You know, all these guys who are running around going, you know, I want a strong, independent woman, and I love staying at home while my wife goes and does the breadwinning.
Oh, good luck with that.
I'm like, you don't really.
Yeah, no, good luck with that.
Like, you're saying that because you know it gets you social cred. And like, they're going to be people you don't know who'll go, oh, what a guy, like Doug Emhoff, right? So I think that might become a verb, to Doug Emhoff.
Yeah.
I think it will be a thing.
Yeah.
Because we've been looking for a verb for that. We know what, the others are. So now we've got a descriptor for that.
Yeah, we'll swap simp with Doug.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
On my way into work this morning, and I was early as hell. I don't know. I woke up like a flash this morning, but 3:45 of all times. So
yeah.
I was ready to go very early. We could have started the show at 5, frankly. And I noticed something about people on the road. It's probably nothing new. We've discussed this maybe at some point in the past, but it occurs to me that South Africans of all stripes, doesn't matter what kind of car these people are driving, right? You could be driving a fancy like 7 Series BMW. You could be in a sports car. You could be in a minibus taxi. You could be in any of these things. The hazard lights mean to all of those people, oh, I'm about to do something really stupid. Forgive me.
Yeah.
That's what hazard lights mean in this country. They don't mean, oh, careful, there's something coming up, or there was a pothole, or, oh, watch out, I'm just warning you in advance. What they are is saying, I'm going to do something illogical, irrational. I'm going to stop right in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
In other words, I have already thought I'm going to do this, but I'm going to push this button because that'll excuse me. It's like a get out of jail free card for people behind the steering wheel. Am I right?
Yeah. Yep. Like I've seen a couple of people, you'd be behind them and they'd be indicating in a certain direction. All of a sudden the hazards go on.
Yes.
And God help us all from that point.
Yeah.
Like minibus taxis, by the way, are the worst. Like they never use any of their signaling for what it's actually supposed to be used for.
Listen, I do not want to do what every other person in South Africa does, which is just to like lay on the blame onto taxis. Taxis are the only people on the road who drive badly.
Oh, no.
Let me tell you, they have a very arduous and difficult job.
Yep.
I don't think that taxis are the worst on our roads. I think that there are a lot of people who I've seen driving, even this morning. There are a couple of people who was like, we should give that person's license to a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Because that person shouldn't be driving. And I'm sometimes guilty. You're sometimes guilty. None of us are perfect in the car.
Yeah.
But most of the time you try to keep your wits about you. There are people who, there was a guy who crossed from the right-hand side to the left and turned. And put on his hazards while he was doing it and crossed 3 lanes of traffic to let us know he was about to do something really stupid that he hadn't thought about until the very last minute.
That, to me, is the most frustrating thing that happens on our roads. And it happens way too often. You have a person change 3 or 4 lanes all at one go. That is one of the most dangerous things you'll ever do on the road. And for whatever reason, it's commonplace here in SA. I don't know why. And
well, it's because we're undisciplined. And like, I say we because I'm also in that box a lot of the time. And you know, when I used to be really bad at road rage, I was one of those people who's constantly angry. I was bad for about 10 years. Horrible. And it used to get me into the foulest mood. And eventually I realized, like, this is on you, man.
Yeah.
I'm just being an idiot, right? And also I started listening to podcasts.
Oh, okay.
And that calms me down. I'm listening to something sensible. I'm laughing or I'm paying attention. So my mind, my conscious mind is very focused on that material. And my autopilot is like, just be calm.
Yeah.
Calm. Think about this a little bit beforehand, but it's kind of an automaton mode. So I'm like, going here, let me remember to get over to this lane. I've very seldom in my life had to cross like more than 1 lane, which means I'm still applying forethought before the turnoff.
Yeah.
But it just drives me mad that like you can see someone who's really like basically they're struggling with day-to-day decisions. Like they don't know they don't know where they're going. They're not sure what time they have to be there. And then they are struck by these day-to-day decisions about turning left or turning right. And it's too much for them. You think, operating heavy machinery, maybe not for you.
Maybe not.
Some people it's not. Let's just face that.
And you know, it's also pretty annoying. Have you ever been driving someone somewhere, giving someone a lift, and they have to give you directions?
I've never given anyone a lift. I hate driving people, right?
And then they wait like 5 meters before you're supposed to turn to tell you that you're supposed to turn.
Oh.
That is also like absolutely frustrating. Then you've got those people that don't understand that the further right you go in terms of lanes, the faster you're supposed to drive. You'll find someone in the fast lane doing 40 k's an hour.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to have to figure out some sort of evasive move.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I'm trying to pull up behind you, when you realize that you're in the wrong place and then you panic.
Oh my God.
Ay, ay, ay.
So Raven says, and this is so spot on, those wankers on the road who want to be first all the time, those guys need to start calming. Listen, you write like these people drive, Raven. Your writing is like these people's driving, okay?
But
Anyway,
she
she
say
says
she was hungover. So
she says, yeah, is Raven the one who said, okay,
Yep.
so Raven said in a comment when we just started the show, 6 a.m., which means, I mean, Edinburgh, what? They are an hour behind us.
yeah.
So it's like 5 a.m. there.
Yes, yes.
And she said, good morning, 5 a.m. in Edinburgh, and I am hungover on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday morning.
Listen, I'm in no position to give any life advice to you, Raven. You may be a much more successful human being than me. But I will criticize your spelling and grammar in that last comment. I do agree with you completely, by the way, because it's really dumb when someone in the traffic, and I do want to move on because I know this is probably for some people, it's like, ugh, such Joburg conversation.
Yeah.
When someone drives really fast past you on a 2-lane road in Johannesburg, but you end up at the same robot
Oh,
after they've sped ahead of you and they think they're such a big dick. And you get to the robot and you're like, hi.
hi.
And then they never look at you. They look
Ever.
steadfastly look forward, like nothing happened, nothing to see here.
And then you see a
Douchebag.
bead of sweat just like
What-
right there.
yeah,
Boom.
What a douchebag.
You're like,
but,
hey.
but that moment is worth it, right? Like
It is.
that moment's always, I love when that happens because you know at the next robot you're going to see them.
Mm.
They forgot. They go, oh, damn, I did that thing. Because it's probably happened to them before.
Yeah.
And then you win.
Yeah.
It's nice to win.
It's always fun when you pull up next to a VW GTI or whatever.
Yeah.
And you've got
One of
that
those
guy.
loud,
Yeah, that
loud,
guy in
and,
the car.
and the music.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, I love it. So I when I lived in Pretoria for a bit, Pretoria Street always humbled people that way. I love it because what I actually discovered is if you do 60 k's an hour, you'll pass each and every robot.
Yes.
Like you won't have to stop. Then you bump into the idiot in that GTI. You're like, hey,
look at this. Gavin thinks he's being very clever. Gareth, you're running through black coat presenters like a cheap porno now, man. That couch almost seems fitting now. I love you, Jack. Catch you on the pod, dude. Well, Jack's got listen, let me just tell you. I take your comment, Gavin, and I treat it with the contempt it deserves.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. But Jack has his own show. And it is on Tuesdays. And he's been interviewing some pretty cool people. You can go and check that out at the podcast party. And you know what? Sometimes it's not that you run through co-stars. It's sometimes that those people fly the nest and start their own big things. And you know what, Gavin? Sometimes you got to let people do their thing. And maybe they even become better than you at it. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings. It would be a very good thing indeed. We have launched over the course of the last 11 years or so, some phenomenal talent. I mean, people who had never been in front of a microphone before and are now doing all the things. I love it.
Yeah.
I can't hold on to, you don't hold on to people. You don't keep people back when they've got to fly. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And thanks. I like the couch too. Son
like
of a
it.
bitch.
And a rise in the tide lifts all boats, man. That's the attitude you should have.
So
Legit.
I lost yesterday because I hate doing anything for my birthday.
Yeah.
But my one friend, who's a bit of a lunatic, he caught me at an odd moment on Friday last week, knowing that my birthday was coming. I was busy taking packets out of the car, had my phone like this, and he phoned me. I don't know if he planned it that way or whatever. He's like, hey, we're either doing dinner on Monday or dinner on Tuesday for your birthday. And I'm like, I tried to think of an excuse quickly. And you go, I've just got to check the diary. Okay, Tuesday, thinking, well, that's the furthest. So it'll give me time to come up with something. Anyway, we all went out for dinner last night. Very civilized. I was back in bed by 10 o'clock. There was no drinking. It was a very sophisticated, decent affair. Lovely food, nice people. It was a really cool thing. And I think what it's taught me is I've got to get over this birthday shit, like we discussed with Hanan on Monday. And I had a lovely day, by the way, on Monday. I went and did my health assessment, which I was very excited about.
That's very grown of you.
I tried to fill my day with everything that would not remind me it was going to be my birthday. And yet, it was terrific. I spent time with a lot of very cool people that I love to see. I felt good. I don't feel shitty. I was happy to wake up on that day. I was happy to get into bed and go to sleep on that day. I got things done. It's like, I think my attitude to birthdays might be improving.
And what's interesting is you seem to be more invested in everyone else's birthday except yourself.
Yeah, I do. I like other people's birthday because the focus is not on me.
Yeah,
but I'm getting better than that. I hope.
No,
anyway,
that's
common
a good
sense
thing.
is Gareth, sit back, man. Yeah, but then the microphone isn't close enough. Common sense. Okay, we're still trying to figure out the studio, but we'll get there.
We will.
Alex says he was there last night. Just celebrate your damn birthday. All right, fine. RJ says, who hurt you, Gareth? No, no one. I like birthdays now. There was a period where I didn't want to make a fuss. This is old. We talked about it on Monday. Go watch the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go over it again. Bitcoin Butch says I'm getting soft. Cliff Central's like a school of excellence. That's why no one from here ends up on News 24, says Sanele. I wouldn't call Ben a lunatic. Well, Ben wasn't there, and it wasn't Ben who called me. But, Ben also, Ben is the grumpiest old man ever in the history of humans. He really is. He makes me look like a giddy 15-year-old because he is a 900-year-old man trapped in a 36-year-old body or whatever. He is, really. There's no way around it.
And it doesn't help that he loves golf.
Oh, Sunil says, I love this. Sunil Osman, who we've had on the show a number of times. Sunil says, it sounds like celebrating your birthday is becoming a journey. Touche, man. Touche.
That was a good one.
Edith Booth says the set looks really good, Gareth. All it needs now is a few bottle of booze like Bill Maher has in his set. Lol. Okay. Go somewhere warm like the Pacific. What? No? Hang on. I can't. Here. Go like a Pacific island and drink cocktails and coconuts. Get a really bad sunglass tan. No, can I tell you something? I'm not big on holidays. I thought about this and I've now experienced enough to be able to say the longest local holiday you can do, well, I can do. I'm not going to make rules for you. I can do 2 nights away. It's enough. 2 nights locally, even if it's far. 2 nights locally is enough. And we'll talk about this with Agie just now because Agie's coming in with the window seat. And he's going to tell us, of course, you can go to travel.co.za if you're thinking about this yourself. But I thought about it. So I can do 2 nights away locally, and that's enough for me. But I can do maximum, including travel, 10 days overseas. That's plenty. So more than that, I just can't do.
Now, you're saying 2 nights at the venue, right? Like, so you're not counting traveling days.
Including travel locally. I'm saying in this country, including travel, 2 nights.
See, when I travel, I don't count the day that we're on the road. So if we're going to the Kruger National Park on a Thursday, that Thursday does not count in my book.
No.
So I'd need
You're
3
greedy.
nights.
You're a greedy person.
I'm an experience. I'm all about great experiences. So the more time I have, the better. Like, I think a weekend is enough. Like, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's enough.
You're greedy. I'm telling you. Just going back to the comments quickly, because there are a lot of things being said here. Gareth, I see your friend Raman is chief of staff for John Steenhuisen.
Hey, big news.
The internet went ballistic yesterday. Well,
Stupid.
When I say the internet, I mean like 25 extreme left-wing, deeply personally unhappy people.
Yeah.
Who you can name by name. You can just go and do a quick search. And the people who are most angry about this are the people who wish they had that job themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised that they would hate Raman because he is everything they are not. He is confident. He's a happy man. He's got a lovely wife. He's got great family. He's got, I think, 2 kids now. He just had another kid recently. Congrats, by the way, Raman.
Congratulations.
I've known him for just short of 10 years. When I met Raman, I hated him. I thought he was an opinionated son of a bitch. And then I looked in a mirror and I was like, who the hell are you to be calling someone else opinionated?
Yep.
I have to tell you, forget about Raman. John Steenhuisen's lucky to have him. He's unafraid. He's not kowtowing to the internet like all of those people who criticize him would, because they're all weaklings. And I wish him luck. And long may he continue to drive those people who are going to be driven mad on the internet. They are exactly the kind of people who get angry about everything because they're miserable. If you look into their personal lives, you will see that everyone who has a problem with him is a miserable person in their own time and space.
And the biggest difference between Raman and those people is that Raman actually stands for something.
Yeah.
Whereas those people are just looking for a reason to be mad. And
by the way, here's a real revelation. Shocking news, but there's a lot that I don't agree with Raman about. I don't even agree with the way he pronounces his name. I don't think it's Raman. I think it's Raman. But it's not my decision. And you know what? We can still be we could be okay with each other, even though his name is fucking stupid.
Exactly.
How about that, huh?
Look at that.
By the way, he's a diversity hire as well, because he's actually Moroccan, French, Arab. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's a bit of diversity for all those lefties whose heads are exploding at the moment. But you don't like him because he's like right of center. Just proving again, you don't really care about diversity, do you?
And
it's like that song. What's Leonard Cohen? But you don't really care for diversity, do you?
No,
you don't.
No. And the thing is, what I've quickly discovered about this internet era is that no one actually does any research whatsoever. So people just jump on the bandwagon. So we're hating on whoever. All right, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that. Well, because you're going to be miserable.
Bitcoin Butch says, Gareth, your friend Civ criticized Raman. So again, no, listen. So I can't do what? No, I mustn't be friends with Raman if I'm friends with Civ, but I can't be friends with Civ if I'm friends with Raman. What is this? Like childhood playground stuff? What are the chances that both of them are going to be at the same dinner table with me anyway? I could be friends with both of them. And if they don't like each other, not my problem. Like, what kind of friends do you have? Do you only have friends who agree with you? It's a bit lame.
Bitcoin Bot sounds like we should be in Buffy the Vampire Slayer's high school. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Mean
like
girls.
Mean Girls.
Yeah, Mean Girls.
It's like, you're outside of the clique, outside of the crew. We don't chill with you. It's like, please, come on. Let's grow up.
Okay, look here. I've been gifted a plane ticket to your favorite place. I'm off to PE, says Audrey, to visit the family this weekend. Well, like I said, 2 nights is enough.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, get the hell out of there as quickly as you can. Oh, man. Let's just see. There's some other things here I wanted to get to. Gareth, did you get a prostate exam at Discovery? No, I didn't. Apparently, though, I did the blood test last year. They just didn't include the results in my points. So I didn't get the points. But you can do a blood test now where they check that. And then if the blood test says that there could be a problem, then you have to go for the... But otherwise, like, just do the blood test for starters. And no, I didn't, because I did it last year and you only have to do it every 2 years. So I don't get any points if I do it anyway. And I don't see any point unless there's a point. You get my meaning? It's like I'm now in that mill. I'm one of the hamsters on the wheel that have to generate the points. In fact, Agie, who's sitting here, is going to come and do the window seat with us just now. He's one of the people who told me I had to open an account with them so that I could get the good flight deals.
Yeah.
And I listen to this man. He's one of the reasons that if I end up with a finger up my ass, because he said I can get good travel. All right. So just you be aware, like, I pay attention. Agie, don't ever let it be said that I don't pay attention to you. All right. Is that the Raman who went to Russia? Yes, we had him on this show, like a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago.
Before he was appointed to that position.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. All South African YouTubers live in the same house and stuff. RJ, probably. I'm not really on top of who's big in South African YouTube, but I don't know that they're making like international money. I don't think those guys are, they're not like, Mr. Beast, who we've spoken about a couple of times on the show. And there are some people who work for Mr. Beast who live in this country and who are very, very impressive. And I've spent a bit of time with them, but I don't think South African YouTubers are making that kind of money. They're not anywhere near.
Nah.
So
there's some that are making quite a bit of money. It's nowhere close to Mr. Beast, but you know, there's a bit of money out there.
Yeah.
I think as well, like, you know, the content that comes out from South Africa, and like, it's not everyone, obviously, but there's a lot of, it's fodder. Like, it's just, you know, knee slapping and laughing and
It's okay.
low frequency jokes, but it's
That's
okay.
okay.
It's okay.
There's a space for everybody.
There really is.
Everybody's allowed, even the boring ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick things before we get to the window seat. I know you wanted to talk about my favorite subject, nominative determinism.
Yes, sir. So you actually told me that phrase on Monday.
Yes.
And it's been on my mind ever since then. So what I did was I Googled the etymology of people's names. And I wanted to see if there was
let's just
explain.
Let's explain to people what nominative determinism is.
Yeah.
If, for example, your surname is Carpenter and you end up being a woodworker, then people would say that is nominative determinism.
Yeah.
If you are a hat maker and your surname is what's the term again? Milliner. If your surname is Milliner, then that's nominative determinism. But even if you end up being called,
if you're a philosopher and your surname is Wisdom,
or Socrates,
that
or Demosthenes.
There you go.
In fact, anything Greek, they'll say nominative determinism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of led me down a rabbit hole where I was trying to figure out what people's names mean. And there's an interesting difference in like vernacular names and European names, like Gareth and James and whatever.
Sure.
So I checked out James. Do you know what your name means, brother? Or at least where it comes from? Not a clue. Okay, so
no, it doesn't mean awesome individual. No, that would be great.
No. Okay, so its origins, it comes from the Hebrew name Jacob, and it means supplanter. Can you believe that?
Supplanter. As in he comes in when someone else, like, for example, like, let's say your producer Ryan leaves for Ireland. And you supplant his position. That's James.
That's
so nominative determinism.
Perfect example.
Okay, very good.
I died of laughter when I came across that. I was like, hey, look at that.
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, let's have a chat about your name, Gareth.
I know what it is. It's Welsh and it means gentle.
Well, according to Google,
which is not well, that's not right. I mean, like, that's definitely not how that ended up.
Definitely not right.
Gentle.
Well, yes, the name Gareth has its origins in the Welsh language,
which, by the way, is not even a language. It's just a collection of consonants. And some of the Welsh words are so long, even Welsh people go, fuck it.
We'll skip that one. So it's derived from a combination of two elements, right? Gwared, which means spear, right? And reol, which means rule. So your name loosely translates to spear rule.
As in Umkhonto Wesizwe.
That's it.
Okay, so basically I should be MK.
Yes, you should.
You're going to call me MK from now on.
Seriously. And
Sizoba dubula. Bazobalega dubula. How do I do? Am I right?
I love it.
Okay.
Put it here. Oh my God, that was great. I love it.
Sizwe. What am I? Umkhonto Wesizwe.
Yes.
So is that really what it means? Because I was led to believe it was some weak ass Gareth, gentle, kind, or was that in some book designed only for women to read?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because
holy hell. Okay, I prefer this.
Right? Spear rule. Umkhonto Wesizwe. There you go.
I like that.
I love it too.
Yeah,
so naturally I had to check my name as well.
Of course.
Jack.
No, but your other name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, that those names are vernacular. So Tato Keketso. Tato means will, so the will of God. Keketso means addition, but that's the Sotho name. So there's subtle differences in Sotho languages. So Sepedi, Setswana, and Sotho. So in Sesotho, when you add something, wa o ketsa, right? No, in Sotho it's e ketsa, wa e ketsa, and in Setswana it's to o ketsa, which is why there's keketso and ko ketso.
Okay,
those are two.
No one's
different
ever
names.
explained that to me. I doubt I'll remember, but thank you.
Right? But the cool thing, what I picked up is a lot of our names we use in everyday language. So for argument's sake, mpo, which means gift,
Right.
can be used in any kind of sentence. I've never heard someone say, yeah, I was thinking of Garething, something like that. You get what I mean?
Right, I got you.
And that difference to me makes European names slightly more interesting because you kind of have to research where they come from. Whereas with our names, when you just say like Tato, everyone knows what Tato means. There's no mystery behind it.
But also with Tato, they very seldom can really screw that up internationally.
Oh,
That's
yes.
a good name because almost all the other names, whether it's in Setswana, Zulu, Sepedi, Afrikaans, the rest of the world screws that up badly.
Like big time.
Yeah, so at least Tato, they can't screw it up too badly.
Too badly. Like
but the meaning. So in terms of yours.
Oh, Jack.
So Jack, yeah. Let's just look at that.
Jack means God is gracious.
Huh.
And it comes from, funny enough, it was a nickname for John. That's how the name Jack came up.
Right.
Right. And you know, it's been attached to a bunch of other words like jackhammer, cheap jack, and wada. So it actually meant the smaller version of whatever that thing is. So if you first had a hammer, a jackhammer was the smaller version of that.
It must irritate you because you've got such issues with the height.
I really don't. I'm really comfortable. Have you seen my Twitter handle? It's at Jack_5'4". I've got no problem with my height whatsoever.
I'm kidding. Carl De Santos says James, from the Greek Jamis tholos, meaning afraid of technology.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. There's some very good names in here too. A friend of mine's dad was a judge and his surname was Law.
Wow.
See? That's amazing.
That is cool.
Yeah. I know a vet called Dr. Barker. See? This is good. This is good stuff.
It really is.
RJ says, by that standard, some people's surname should just be Dus.
Yeah.
I like that too. That's interesting. Last night, says Snae, my sister and I were talking about how all three of her names mean happiness, joy, etc. But she's quite an unhappy, miserable girl.
Oh.
Snae, that's terrible.
That is terrible.
All right, very good. Got some nice ideas in here. I always find it hilarious. The things that people decide to call their kids, and when their kids end up like embodying that name, they're like, oh, it's so unfortunate. And I'm like, but you gave them that name.
Yeah. Like, I think the most unfortunate name I've ever come across is Matlakal.
Oh, shame.
Which means, you know, rubbish.
Shame. That's very bad.
Yeah, but, you know, so it means, like, sure, it means rub, but at the same time, it means leaves, right? So I think most parents say Matlakala to mean leaves.
Yeah, but Matlakala could also mean you're like trash.
Like you're just trash. Absolutely trash.
So Migs is trying to start the trend with MK Cliff. Okay. We'll get there.
Yeah.
At some point. I don't think it's going to happen today. I had a dentist called Dr. Pallet.
Wow.
That's pretty wild. Okay.
That is pretty wild.
But it's not spelt the way pallet should be spelled.
Yeah.
P-A-L-A-T-E would have been better. And my married surname is Spring and I'm a farmer. There we go, Bronwyn Spring. I like that. Okay. I love this. We could play this game all day.
We could.
Nominative determinism. Look it up and you'll be surprised how many people you know have a name or a surname that relates to what they do and who they are. It's fantastic.
It's actually really
cool.
All
right. Let us welcome none other than Agie into the show. He's no stranger to the show. We're going to do a little bit of the travel seat, the window seat. I don't know why I keep calling it the travel seat this morning. Probably because we deal with travel.co.za. And if you haven't been to travel.co.za, you are missing out on some pretty damn awesome stuff. Agie Adams is the general manager of marketing at Travel IT Global and Tourvest Travel Services. And you can find out everything you need to know about your dream holiday by going to travel.co.za. And Agie, after all the terrible things I said about you just now, he's back. Do you like is it better for you on the...
Much better.
This is comfortable, right?
Much more. I just told James now.
Yeah.
You should have actually told me. I'm traveling later and my traveling pants are green.
Oh, nice.
So I was going to wear green pants.
Yeah. You see, if you wear green on this set, you end up blurring into the background and then it'll look very weird because you'll look like just a torso.
Getting ready for Paralympics.
All right. So what are we talking about today?
Give you an update, some news roundup from around the world.
Lekker.
And our next campaign, advertising or media campaign for some specials for next month.
Awesome.
to give an update on that.
We love a special.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so the latest travel news. Agie's going to give us some updates. Let's just start off in Europe.
You said where you want to start.
Well, I know it's
Can
expensive.
we get back there?
No, I'll tell you why. Because Europe is now obviously going to the off season.
Yeah.
Which is for us a little bit better because it should be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But of course, Europe is expensive. They just had the Olympics in France. I get pictures from all the rich people that I follow on Instagram, enjoying themselves on yachts and doing cool things in the Mediterranean. And obviously that looks super sexy, but how within reach is it for us?
Well, firstly, it is slightly cheaper this time of year, but more importantly, it's less crowded. If you've ever seen any European capital during the peak summer periods, it is chaos.
Hell.
So much so, over-tourism has become a word.
Yeah.
And the European markets, a lot of them, I just got the snippet today, another capital, Edinburgh, is now imposing a tourist tax.
Yes, and we were learning just the other day about Barcelona.
That's
You
right.
said that they're not allowing any more bed and breakfasts, and they're
Airbnbs.
limiting the number of hotel rooms. And these are the things that they're subtly trying to do to restrict the number of people who are coming in and out of their towns because it's wearing the place down.
There you go. That is actually in Barcelona.
Look at that. This isn't tourism, it's an invasion.
How's
Bloody
the other one?
xenophobic Barcelonans.
Water pistol shooting at tourists at restaurants.
Wow, is that what they're doing?
Yeah, that's their protest action.
Ungrateful bastards.
So there is a site you would have seen, in many European cities,
Sure.
not just Barcelona.
Okay, so
Italy-
Edinburgh you said as well, huh?
Yeah. Italy, for example, in Italy, the entire country gets an entire month off.
Sure.
And for that month, the whole country's off for them to explore their country and be on leave. And now they're seeing all of these tourists. It's just,
Oh, man.
so I can understand it,
Yeah.
but I also don't understand it because it's kind of a problem we'd love to have some over-tourism in South Africa.
Well, I know that South Africans also complain when, for example, we have, people come here with dollars and pounds and euros, and they go to these 5-star places that we can't afford. And I think justifiably South Africans are upset about that. We got a little bit of our own back just around COVID because we were able to go there, drop their rates. Now we've maybe got a taste for that. But it's a difficult problem because you want the tourists.
Yeah.
They are an engine, especially for a country like us.
Yeah.
It's an engine of the economy, and we can't disregard that stuff. But at the same time, you kind of want your country to also be for you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But I think there's also a lot of lodges that we have because, South Africa promotes itself as one of those safari destinations. There are a lot of lodges that cater exclusively for the international trade.
Sure.
The others, the way they change it up is they charge a rate for international tourists, and South Africans pay a different rate to make it more affordable for them. But they will always give preference. If two people call, one international tourist, one local, they're going to take the one that's paying more.
Of course.
But we've got a lot of lodges, enough to cater for both and more. Places like Cape Town, I think they complain about us.
Yeah. They do. They don't
in
like
December, they see a Gauteng number plate, they give you, that side eye,
Funny look, yeah.
funny look, skiff. No. And you see them, eh?
Well, Durban Dope says in the comments there that Cape Town, the prices are getting ridiculous for the locals. But that's obviously property, which you can't do anything about. I'm sorry, Durban Dope, you just have to get richer if you want to buy property in Cape Town. What else?
Yeah.
What must I tell you? Yeah. All right, so let's just look at Europe because you mentioned Barcelona and Edinburgh. Let's just talk about Amsterdam for a second because that's a place a lot of South Africans I know have gone to work, they've gone to live, they've gone on holiday. It seems like a very welcoming, friendly place. The people there are really cool, but also becoming over-tourismed.
Yes, and so much so the protests they have got a different angle. You got the tree huggers that are protesting, and there you see their protest in Amsterdam.
Yeah,
They glued themselves to that bridge or that lock and handcuffed themselves there to prevent the cruise ship from entering. Obviously, and why it makes the news, obviously, from a travel perspective, is all of those 3,000, 4,000 cruise passengers are now affected and can't get off the boat and see the city. And these are, the climate activists. I think
that looks like an elderly woman there.
Yeah.
That's glued herself. I don't see why they don't just
Why?
ram her.
Yes,
Like I don't have to. She's obviously in the way. I don't know if that's maybe her daughter or a friend's daughter or something like that. Those two people are probably not going. You weigh up them versus the 3,000 people on the ship. It's an easy decision.
Yeah, and I also want. I mean, this is Rebellion Extinction, right?
Oh, I hate them.
So they protesting. The cruise ships are polluters and stuff like that. What is that green or yellow smoke doing?
That's what I was. And my biggest problem is most probably they drove to get
exactly. Oh well, it's Amsterdam, so they probably rode a bicycle.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and what's their obsession with glue and handcuffs? Like they keep gluing themselves everywhere.
Yeah, like it can't. We can't.
The funny thing is too that these people are total hypocrites. Like if you gave them 10 to 20,000 euros, they'd go on holiday, and that holiday might involve quite a lot of carbon.
Yeah,
correct.
And they wouldn't be complaining about that if you gave them the money and sent them on a holiday. But it's like this is their way to get attention.
Yeah,
it does get a lot of people uptight in Europe, though. There's a lot of these protesters in Europe. I don't think you'd ever get them in South Africa. We just drive over them.
Yeah,
I mean, got real problems
in the UK. It's like every weekend. Every single weekend there's a protest somewhere.
Now, listen. We spoke about this on the show, but those wildfires in Greece were pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah, I mean, last year it was more than just one country. This year so far it's just Greece and around the surrounding areas of Athens, as you can see there. And this was about 2 weeks ago, this photograph, but I've just seen yesterday as well. They're still raging, not just in Athens, but now in other parts of Greece. It's because of the dry air and the heat waves that they're experiencing. And now there are other places in Europe, places like Turkey, northern Italy, that have put warnings out as well. And the thing about this is I'm not saying don't go there. I mean, obviously go there, but you can have a different type of holiday.
Yeah.
2 years ago, when they had those massive fires in Turkey, you had thousands of people stranded. It got to a point where in the beach areas, the fire had come so close that people took their bags, and should have brought photos, took their bags, ran out of the hotel, and the safest place was on the beach. Wow. And they had to camp out on the beach for a day or two until they were rescued.
Wow.
That's horrible.
Make sure you have travel insurance. That's all I'm saying.
And that's not the kind of holiday you can prepare for, right?
No, absolutely.
There's no way that you know what to do if that happens.
So
and you didn't bring enough beach clothes.
Wildfires making news, obviously, as well. So yeah.
All right, so let's talk about a few of your specials.
I know you don't want to talk about it. You're probably avoiding it, but it's something for people to keep an eye on. Mpox is real, all right?
Okay, all right. Tell us.
Sure. The World Health Organization, it's just something for us to keep an eye on, and I'll tell you why. The World Health Organization officially, what the wording they've said is they've declared the Mpox outbreak a global health emergency. They've declared it. Okay, cool. It's in Africa predominantly. Since the start of the year, there have been about 19,000 cases. 19,000 cases. South Africa accounts for 24 of those.
So in other words, it could get in our way.
And from a travel perspective,
you might have to have the tests.
There's going to be screening at airports. This is how it starts. They do screening. If it gets bigger, it moves to something else.
Yeah.
For those African countries, this week they've started delivering vaccines. So yeah, let's see where it goes. Just something to keep an eye on.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I'm pleased you brought it up because I wouldn't have even thought of that.
One other thing, in South Africa, another day goes by, another strike possibly on the cards.
Yeah.
Air traffic navigation systems.
ATNS.
There's no strike. Let's clear that up. But they're in wage negotiations.
Oh, and they could cause a lot of trouble.
So if it doesn't go their way, there's a possibility of a strike. But they are an essential service, so we'll see what happens with that.
Do you have like a war room at the office where you guys get these updates because you've got thousands of people, companies, massive clients that you guys service from all over the place. You have to be able to give them this info.
Absolutely. I mean, it's called duty of care.
Right.
So it's not necessarily a war room, but we've got technology that helps us with this. Something happens not just in South Africa, anywhere in the world, and a traveler is impacted. It's with the technology. Well, firstly, we get the update. What is happening? What is the impact? It's got a scoring as well, in terms of severity. And we easily, at any given time, I could tell you, in London right now, we have 700 passengers. Here's a list of all of them. Here's their contact details. Let's SMS all of them. Let's WhatsApp them. We can do that fairly quickly. The technology helps us. That's why the duty of care is really important. And you have a plan in place to be able to, if you need to bring them back home, what is the plan? There's no direct flights. Bring them via this, via that. And the guys are so quick, and it's 24 hours that they're able to
Phenomenal.
do that through our emergency call center.
All right. So can we talk specials now?
Well, I won't give you details of the specials, but I will tell you, in the leisure world right now, globally and South Africa as well, there's a growing trend, and it's growing really fast for fans to travel to their favorite spots. Right?
Oh,
So
hell yes.
you're a fan of Game of Thrones. It's a bucket list thing for you
Yeah.
to say, I want to go to Croatia.
Yep.
I want to see where they filmed it.
Mhm.
And it's not just fans of movies or TV. It's music fans. We don't get a lot of concerts here like we used to. People are going to see Coldplay or Adele or whatever it is.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Aye.
They're traveling for those kinds of things. We thought, let's be a little bit different for next month. We're gonna go with famous streets.
Okay.
So I've made a mention. I brought some photos of you. I mean, everybody. If I ask you famous streets around the world, what's the first one you think of?
Well, Fifth Avenue, New York.
For shopping.
Yeah.
Right.
Carnaby
Rodeo
Street
Drive
in
California.
What was it?
Rodeo
Drive,
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So we've put together all of those and more, obviously, and with the reason and a deal, there'll be a deal. So the deals, it only starts from next week, from the 1st of September. So that's why I'm not going to give you a deal, but
Okay.
people know what to
That's cool.
expect, right?
Let's have a look.
So first one we've got is Abbey Road.
That's where the Beatles famously did their album cover.
Correct. And
They
that's
crossed
in,
that zebra crossing.
Yeah.
There we
That's
go.
the one. Ah, what a picture.
That's in London. And if you go to London, you see a queue of people waiting
to
to,
do this.
take
To do
that
that.
photo.
Oh yeah.
And it's unbelievable how big the Beatles still are.
Jeez, that's cool. Okay, that's very cool. And you can still go there, but you have to line up.
Yeah, it's a small lines, like 10
Okay.
people or whatever. I mean, it's the same. I mean, London, New York, these are popular places, so they'll have a lot of streets. I was surprised. I went to 221B Baker Street. That is the address of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I was surprised is there's actually a Sherlock Holmes museum right there.
Oh,
There's a Bobby waiting to take you for a tour,
uh-huh.
and there's about 10 people in a queue.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Just by the way, that photograph of the Beatles, it was actually John was like, "No, I just want to go to the pub across here. I'm not really. It's not an
There
album
we go.
cover. Don't worry about the album.
Paul's
Come
got
on,
no
lads.
shoes on.
Come on, lads, let's go. Take some drugs."
Come on, lad.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
chicken and chips.
But that's very good. Okay,
Um,
that's a good one to go to.
And then we've
That's
got,
iconic.
I think we've got Bangla Road next.
Oh yes.
If you don't, those of you that don't know, Bangla Road is
Put up
in,
the picture there, boys.
it's in Phuket, there we
Yes.
go.
Ah.
and
Right. You're never really sure which ones are the men and which ones are the women.
I'm pretty sure they're all lady boys. I've been there. Interesting. I mean, this is the
red light
nightlife.
district.
So this is the nightlife. It's
Yes.
the main street in Phuket. Everybody goes here, and it's lined with bars and pubs, and as you can see, some entertainment as well.
Now, what's amazing about this picture is that the women in inverted commas, are expressing all the interest. Those guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
totally disinterested.
Just what? There's so
It's the
many.
opposite of South Africa. Because
Like,
in
Listen,
South Africa, this is the other way around.
the most interesting person on this photograph, for those that are on the YouTube, the guy on the extreme left holding up a menu.
Oh,
what?
okay.
It's
what's
a
on,
menu
what's
of
on
what?
It's a menu.
what's on the menu?
It's for the different types of shows he has to offer you.
Oh, right. This is where you
yeah.
get ping pong and all that. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, got
correct.
you.
So with the
Wow.
pricing and everything, and if you say yes, you say follow me, and he takes you through one of the alleys to one of the back places, and
Ah.
yeah, it is an experience. You got
Sure, you got to
Yeah.
do it. All right. So there's Bangla Road.
So Bangla Road is during the day you can buy some stuff. It's pretty much closed, but at night it's all action, and it's 7 days a week.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a massage with a happy ending.
There you go.
Well, no need to go straight to that, Jack, but okay. Guess where Jack's next holiday is booked for? Come on. What other streets do we
So
have?
New York, you mentioned Fifth Avenue.
Yes, sure.
You got Wall Street from the movie Wall Street.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Broadway.
Broadway's good, yeah.
Mm.
That
There's
is
Broadway.
exactly Broadway and 7th where they meet is Times Square
Times Square, yeah.
Yes,
And
I
that's
love that
me.
place. I know that place so well. That's
In-
your photograph.
in an
Mm.
empty Times Square. I had to put it up.
What
No.
time was that?
People don't believe me. That was at about 1:45 in the morning.
Okay.
And the reason it was like that was because there was a major storm, lightning storm, that only ended at about 12 o'clock, but it emptied the road.
Mm.
Achi, that's one of the most incredible pictures I've ever seen of that place because
Yeah.
it's just you.
Just
Yeah.
me.
I mean,
Yeah.
usually this is like that scene from that Tom Cruise movie, right?
Correct.
Where he's
It's-
in the middle of Times Square
Yeah.
and there's no one in
No
there.
one there.
Mm.
This
Look,
never,
you can see there's obviously a blurry, there's some
Right,
cars
right,
driving
right.
by, but there's no people around.
that's unbelievable. What a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love that area. I mean, I just up where you're looking downtown there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just back up from where you are, there's that TKTS where you can buy
That's
tickets
right,
for any
yes.
show. And then behind that is a place called the Majestic Deli,
Yes.
where you can go for the best bagel with lox and cream cheese in the whole world.
She's New York bagels. There's nothing
Oh
like
my
it.
God. Wow.
You know what's the secret? It's the water.
Yeah.
It's the water.
Really?
Water.
Yeah, the water.
Water.
So the water in New York. So if you want a New York bagel and people in LA want it, they actually ship water from New York to LA to make bagels, and you get
I
a
didn't
proper
know
New York
That
bagel.
is so American.
And that
Incredible.
That is so
if
American.
you've had a New York bagel, there's no other bagel that tastes like it.
Yeah.
And they say it's the water.
Damn right.
Okay,
You gotta have
after
it with
that,
a coffee sometime. Yeah, have a coffee.
we got the Champs-Elysees.
Oh, I wonder where that is. Could it possibly be in Paris?
Mm.
That's
Guys,
in
the
Paris.
Champs-Elysees.
There we go,
There
guys.
is under the
Arc de
great
Triomphe.
Arc de Triomphe, which was put up for Napoleon.
Napoleon.
Yep.
So this is the very famous street in Paris. The World Cup, Rugby World Cup, the Olympics were there, and you've seen
Mm.
Olympics was a cock-up because they actually closed this road to pedestrians with all of these barricades. If you wanted to cross the road, you had to walk 2 blocks up, then cross and walk 2 blocks
Right.
down.
Oh.
They just, it was a bit chaotic. But in any case, it's fantastic to be able to do that.
By the way, just back from this picture on the right-hand side is where the president lives in the Elysee Palace.
Yeah.
Mm.
Macron and his husband.
And-
I mean, wife.
Nice one.
But that is a beautiful city laid out
it's
by,
amazing. It's amazing, guys. So they've got one more photo from Paris. On the street is that. Now that looks like a Louis Vuitton case. It's
Yes, it
actually the Louis Vuitton hotel.
how magnificent.
Mm.
They made the hotel to look like a Louis Vuitton case. It's not yet open. I think it's opening in the next few months. But yeah, it's unbelievable. When we were there, they were still putting up the fascia. When we were there for the rugby last year.
It's not my style of architecture, but I do appreciate that. That's
So
very
it's just,
beautifully done.
it's there on brand.
Yeah.
Totally.
I would love to see what it looks like inside.
I'm sure it's very 5-star.
Mm.
Absolutely. That is on the Champs-Elysees.
The only building in Paris that I know for a fact is hideous to behold, but some people like to look at it, is the Pompidou Center,
Yeah.
which is like everything that should be inside is outside. And everything outside is inside. It's a very weird looking place. But Paris is just, and it's like a feast for the eyes.
Oh, yeah. And you can walk for days.
Oh, man.
It's like Rome alone. You can just walk for days.
Even watching the Olympics, I was suddenly reminded, and normally I would never watch any cycling events, but in Paris, you get to see these guys, and they did various running and cycling events through the streets of Paris, and you're like, God, every view is just perfect.
Stunning.
So lovely.
So we're going to have some deals to Paris for those that are going to be interested
Very
in
good.
it. And then last but not least, Sheikh Zayed Road. Let's show the before photo.
Right.
So this is the main road in Dubai. You can see the road over there. You can see one bus and one car there probably.
Yeah.
That's the old World Trade Center.
How
So-
far back was this?
1991.
No
Wait,
way. It's a
no.
black and white picture.
That is not, well, I want to give it more effect. But it's actually brown, the black and white, because it's
Yeah.
a desert, guys.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
That's an
that is
amazing contrast
1991.
to now.
So I'll tell you one before we go to the next photo. If you're driving down, probably another 5Ks,
Mm.
there's a kebab shop
Uh-huh.
called Al Ustad.
It's still there.
That's been around since 1970. It was all on its own, like a little building,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still there.
Oh, wow.
And if you go inside, it's not fancy. It's like an ordinary restaurant, but he's got a million little photos of all the famous people that have eaten there.
That's very
And here's the funny thing: it's Dubai, expected to be expensive. It's dirt cheap.
And that would be probably overlooked by most people.
100%.
But that's why that's why we get you here, Agie, because you can tell us about these things and we won't miss out on them.
So-
So show us the after picture
After
of
picture
Dubai.
of Dubai.
Oh my goodness.
So, interesting fact, the average height in terms of all of the buildings on Sheikh Zayed Road, you can see you've got little buildings, you've got tall
Sure.
buildings, but the average height is 100 floors.
100.
Average.
So the average is double the size of Santon's Big Tower.
Yeah.
That's the average.
It's an incredible place. I mean, that almost looks like those two pictures, a view of our distant past and a view of the future that we
Yeah.
haven't even got
What
to
did they
yet.
do this in 25 years?
That's
30 years?
phenomenal.
That is. Oh my God.
It's unbelievable. I mean, and you understand why people say that 80% of the world's claims, at one point,
Mm.
80% of the world's claims were in Dubai.
Yeah.
80 of the world
That's
in
phenomenal.
one place.
Don't tell me
It was-
that you don't have a little bit of curiosity when you see
It's
a picture
unbelievable.
like that.
And that Sheikh Zayed Road, as you can see there, it's two going one way up and one way down. This is the road that obviously joins Dubai to Sharjah and also to the Sharjah, Emirate, and Abu Dhabi. But that's about 8 lanes
Wow.
on each
Incredible.
side.
Wow.
And they've got a metro, as you can see, as well. So
It's
it's
phenomenal.
unbelievable.
Right, well-
Something to behold.
There's a place to put on your list as well.
So yeah, there is obviously Dubai, and we'll have some great specials for
I love it.
Dubai as well.
So what you got to do is go and check out travel.co.za because Agie can't give us all of this in the limited time that we have. But there's always new stuff on there. And if you are in the fortunate position where you're planning ahead, a lot of people just leave it to the last minute. But if you're planning ahead, that's when you get the good deals.
Yeah.
If you look at it and you're going, September next year, now you can pick up a good deal. Go and book it now. Do that at travel.co.za. Ach, anything else?
No, that's about it, eh?
Lekker.
Yeah, this is
Nice
good,
to
man.
see you, man.
Good
Yeah.
to see you.
Next year, I'm see you on your show.
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Agie
Cheers,
Adams is,
guys.
of course, from TTS. And you can go and find out all the deals and all the details on travel.co.za. Thanks, Agie. Nice to see you. We'll be back in a minute.
So where do people get tickets? How do we get our hands on tickets?
Okay, so tickets are available on Howler. You check out the options. It's 275 Rand for a general access ticket. And you can you can take on the park and ride facility from the Mall of Africa, which gets you into the center circuit.
Who's your partner there?
Sani Car Rental
Okay.
is our partner. 20 shuttles running between Mall of Africa into the circuit.
So people arrive at Mall of Africa, just look out for Sani Car Rental.
Yes, you get it's at gate entrance 6 and 8.
Okay.
Look out for the Sani signage, the festival motoring signage. There's branding all over to direct the visitor. Get into the shuttle and back. And there's free parking if you have the Admit app.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yes.
Okay.
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
At some point, I also wanted to be a DJ, but I felt like by the time I really almost called PH, please help me get into it. It was a bit too late. But
You should have asked him to teach you how to DJ. He loves giving lessons on DJing.
you know what the problem is? I'll probably stop mid-set and start having a conversation. Did you guys like that? Yeah, you see, my favorite part is when I mix that other part and then I just... I talk too much.
Yes, but the things that you need to DJ nowadays, you've got all of them. You're hot, you have bums, you could just play a song and dance.
Me again, your voice of reason. Did you know you and Mary from accounting have the same medical aid option? But you hardly claim, and she's at the doctor every week and had a hip replacement last year. Yet you pay the same. It doesn't add up. Please, check out FedHealth Select options. If you're healthy, you can choose to pay 25% less every month. And if you ever need a planned procedure, you simply pay a once-off excess. Now that's how medical aid should be. Go to fedhealth.co.za.
Live on a Wednesday morning, and Jack Motlanthe is here. We've just spent some time talking about travel.
Yeah.
Agie, who was just on the show with us, is off to Mauritius, he tells us. On his way, he's like, bye.
Yeah.
I'm going to Mauritius. I'll see you mofos later.
Yeah.
We're like, nice.
Yeah, we need to get our act together.
Imagine hopping on a plane right now and going to Mauritius. That would be very good. I love that place. I don't care what anybody says. That is paradise, right? Oof.
Yeah.
Paradise. Okay, so apparently there's a degree that they're going to do in South Africa and then launch. There's a lot of stupid degrees, but this one doesn't sound that stupid. South Africa's billionaires have demonstrated exceptional success on the global wealth stage. Johan Rupert, Patrice Motsepe, we know about all these guys, right?
Yeah.
So many of these people have pursued law degrees. Several attended this prestigious Stellenbosch University. This suggests that institution has played a pivotal role in shaping the financial acumen of South Africa's elite. I don't know. I know some pretty stupid people who went to Stellenbosch, so that's unfair, right? I mean, that's very unfair. But I know clever people who didn't go to university.
Right.
I know stupid people who did.
Yeah.
I don't think that universities can claim this, if you ask me. Anyway.
It's not a guarantee of anything, really.
So apparently what they're going to do is they're going to look at what universities and what degrees produce billionaires. And
okay.
I don't think this is a good subset of people to look at. First of all, billionaires are a very, very rare, very tiny percentage of the total number of people.
Yep.
Second of all, it isn't fair to say that billionaires who, if 2 or 3 of them went to the same university, that university is responsible for creating billionaires.
Yeah.
Or that a certain degree is the right one. This is a terrible idea, because then you're going to get people enrolling for a degree at an institution because they want to be billionaires.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to be a billionaire?
Mm.
Everyone on earth would like to be either a billionaire or not. Guess what? No one's going to choose not. So this is a dumb idea that they're looking at. You can tell that this is a very, very stupid person who put this report together.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand that the billionaires aren't billionaires because they studied a certain thing at a certain institution. They're billionaires because they found a gap in the market and started selling things, or they accumulated a whole range of things that they wanted to sell to people, and they exploited opportunities in the market.
That's it.
There's no degree that can teach you that.
Nope.
Am I wrong?
Well, at least there's a degree that can teach you the basic fundamentals of it, but it really comes down to whether or not you're willing to do the work. That's all it is. That's the main difference between people that are billionaires. Yeah. In fact, the main difference between people that have got shit to do and those that don't. Really.
Gareth, I'm a long-term fan of yours and the show, so know this comes from a good place, but you're not cool enough for that couch. Sorry, man.
Okay, Carl.
Even James says that's not very nice.
Okay, but I mean, not cool enough. It's a couch. Like, what was Gareth supposed to do?
What if humans sat on for hundreds of years?
Yeah. I mean,
what am I meant to be on? An empty paint tin? What would you like me to be on? What are you talking about? What are you? Suddenly you're our interior decorating expert, huh? Is that what you are?
Let's call SAB. They can deliver a few crates. We'll sit on top of
we'll sit on crates and we'll have a brazier in the winter. Like homeless people on the street corner in the CBD.
We'll just put them bow like
where would you like me to go?
For ambiance.
Here's the problem, right? And I have to deal with this too. I have to break old mental models. You're used to seeing me sitting behind a desk for 10 years. So we're trying something new. If it's totally rubbish, and so far I like the look of it, it feels more relaxed. It is more relaxed.
It's definitely
I feel more
relaxed.
comfortable sitting here like this than I do behind a desk. It feels like very newsy. We've never been a news show. I mean, I'm not a journalist. Jack's not.
No.
None of our people are serious news people. We get some very, very serious news people in here as guests, but
sure.
I'd rather they were relaxed.
Yeah.
There's a good reason, Carl, that so many TV shows, so many great shows on the internet have people in a relaxed setting, because it makes the people relaxed. So let's see how it goes. If it's really terrible, we'll turn it around.
Yeah, come on. Don't knock it.
You know what I mean? He says, don't be juvenile. You've come to the wrong place for that. At least we can now see that Gareth does have legs. I do, actually. I have not been crawling around in my torso. I was not about to enter the Paralympics this year. By the way, doesn't that start now? Has it already started? It starts today.
I've told you this before. I really don't watch the Paralympics. I'm not interested at all.
Sure, that's
seriously.
very dismissive and politically incorrect of you.
I'm sorry. It gets me into trouble all the time.
You're not
so I just
interested in
choose not to.
Amakrogo.
No.
Not.
No. Like, all the best to them. I'm not saying, everyone should keep the same attitude as I do. Like, all the best to you. You did a great job. You qualified, make it to the, bring back the gold and all of that good stuff. But I'm sorry, I can't watch it. Can't. I'm sorry.
All right. So there are lots of people here saying no PJ pants or tidy whities allowed any longer, says Morgs.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever worn like tracksuit pants for the show, no matter how cold it was or anything else. And look at
Guilty.
you. But you make them look cool.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I know my limits. I know what I'm capable of and what I'm not. And then everybody's climbing in on Carl, calling him Dos Santos. Carl, I appreciate your feedback. Can everyone calm their tits? I was kidding. Touchy fuckers. See? But that's always a convenient thing to say when people go at you. You're like, I was kidding.
Hey, come on. Calm down.
I wasn't upset, I promise you.
Yeah.
Percy says you've changed, Jack.
How have I changed, Percy? Please tell me. Walk me through it so that we can have this conversation. I want to know how I've changed. Because he said that like he knows me personally. Let's see.
All right.
Maybe I've got a few blind spots. Who knows? Let's see.
Can we talk about something else that was on your agenda for the morning?
Yeah.
The philosophy of trying to fail.
So
this is interesting.
I saw this really interesting interview by Willem Dafoe, the Oscar
actor?
winner. Yeah.
Okay.
And they asked him about how he views success. And that's where he brought up this philosophy of his where he tries to fail. So it's flipping expectations in your mind. So when he goes into a scene, he's not going in there trying to be perfect. So when you lower your expectations for yourself, like when you go out of your way to try and be bad, you only go up from there. So for argument's sake, people that are trying to start writing blogs or whatever the case may be, the idea is try write the worst thing you've ever written in your life and then be your own editor and lift it from that point up, right?
Yeah.
So if you start low, there's a really simple way to build up from there, which I found actually really cool. Because I mean, when I think back to like when I was growing up and whatnot, we were always told to aim high, like reach for the stars. You can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, I was raised with that stuff too.
So it was demotivating in a weird way because everyone shot for perfection, and that is an illusion. Perfection doesn't exist. So when you flip the expectation, it kind of opens you up to not being afraid to try, which is what a lot of people get hung up on.
This idea has entered the public discourse recently. The idea that you should fail and fail fast, but that you should try to learn the lessons sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense to me that you should try and write the worst blog ever so that that's out of the way and you can only improve from there. But I don't know. I mean, I still love mastery.
Yeah.
And I still think if you're not going to be the best at something, then let the people who will be the best at it do it. I love seeing someone who's just on top of their game, who delivers things perfectly, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's an idea. I love perfection. I realized this about myself a while ago, that I love beautiful things. I don't think anyone actively loves ugly things.
Yeah.
But I love beautiful buildings. I love beautiful music. I love great paintings. I love beautiful people, right? Everything that feels to me like it's coming close to perfection.
Yeah.
Instantly is 10 times more interesting than anything that's trying.
Now, I think why this was interesting to me is because of the beginning phases of things, right? I've actually been caught up in a lot of back and forth in my own mind about whether I should start something or not. So by removing the goal that is perfection, what you're speaking to, it helps propel you forward. So it actually gets you started, which is what I took away from the interview. I think it's really about understanding that you won't achieve mastery or perfection if you don't start. You need to at least start.
I agree with that. I just don't know whether. You see, I've never really been one to comfortably incorporate the fail part.
Okay.
And I've got to learn that. So I know it makes sense. What you're explaining is perfectly logical. I've seen it work for other people. It's a horrible feeling to fail.
Yeah, it is.
It's a bad feeling.
So a couple of months ago, I was telling you about Kendrick Lamar and Drake's battle. One of the lines that he says in his song is, I learn more of myself when I'm in a loss. Like there's certain things that failure will teach you that success just can't. So I think being a lot more comfortable with the idea of failing, not to say that that is your aim, but
sure.
Being comfortable with it, it removes the doubt in your mind. You just give it a shot.
It's just so counterintuitive to go into something and be comfortable with failure.
Yeah, true.
It's the opposite of what I've been taught to do. I'm more of that school of like, reach for the dreams.
Stars. Yeah.
But also try not to fail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas what you're telling me is try to fail.
Yeah.
That's something
that way you get it out of the way.
I get it though. I got to work on that. So I see Russie Erasmus is trending for some reason. Is there new news on the Springboks? Maybe somebody in the comments can help us with that, because whenever Russie apparently did a press conference yesterday and said some things, and people are interested in that. I'm not sure.
I saw a tiny little clip. I didn't actually see the entirety of it, but I think he was mentioning something about 2 of the players were injured and they had to find a 3rd one or something along those lines. I think something like that.
Okay, well, I don't know. But every time I see Russie trending, I get a bit nervous. And listen, anytime I see anyone trending, I get a bit nervous. He announced the squad?
Oh,
yeah?
Okay.
Right, so what Jack is saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the unfortunate thing is we're playing the All Blacks this weekend. Hey, James. Yeah, yeah. And look, over the past couple of weeks, the All Blacks have not had fun time. So I think they are set for a win, and it might just happen at our expense, but we'll see.
Yeah. I also see here somebody says on Twitter X, I'd literally pay more tax to see Gareth Cliff in Parliament. Well, you know what's great is you don't ever have to worry about that.
Yeah. You'll never do it?
Not for love or money.
I
have zero interest in being your political representative. I don't even want to be my political representative. Politics is at the opposite end of whatever I want to achieve in my life. I can promise you that.
Do you know, I think that would really be interesting. Gareth Cliff in Parliament? Oh my goodness.
No, it's never going to happen.
Like I can already hear the fragile egos breaking all over the place.
I mean, it would be fun to see those people who really can't handle me.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them like screaming and crying. But even that's not enough. Like, I believe in the power of negative reinforcement, right? But even that, like, as fun as it would be to see a bunch of people break down into absolute coronary thromboses, it's not enough to make me want to do it. Just, what politics is like. You've had it in your family. It can be the most horrible thing ever. I like my life.
Oh, Comrade Cliff.
I don't see it ever becoming a thing. And also, I mean, like, if you're looking for someone to save you, maybe it's you. Like, if you're the person who thinks I should go, why don't you go?
See?
Get me to vote for you.
That's
a better place to be.
I said this last week. If you have a gripe with the world or some sort of an issue, it is your responsibility to fix it. Because you're the one that came across the problem, right?
Yeah.
Who else must fix it?
Absolutely. I got my plate's full. Thank you very much. I am building a vegetable garden.
Now that's cool.
That's more cool than going to Parliament.
Yeah. Now
there's nothing there for me that I want. But I am building a vegetable garden. So I'm building these 4 boxes that I'm going to put really good soil in. I'm testing the light. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. He's built this awesome veggie garden. He and his girlfriend have got like everything growing there. He's got a lot more space than I do. It's limited, but I think I can grow tomatoes, chilies, peppers, carrots, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to have, for that size of vegetable garden, I'm going to have the best one.
Man,
I'm excited. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. This just shows you how old I'm getting, right?
No, it's actually really cool.
Having your own vegetable garden is the ultimate flex.
It is.
You don't have to go and get the stuff from the shops. I can make sure it's the right quality stuff. It's all about the soil and how often you water it, how much sun it gets, all that kind of thing. I can even get the right seeds from the right people. I can't tell you, I'm so excited about this. So at the moment, there's a ton of bricks in my driveway. There's packets of cement and sand, and I'm going to be doing that's my project for the next month and a bit.
That's really cool. So this really close friend of mine in Valcom, Spusiso, he's somewhere in the comment section.
Yes.
He's also got a vegetable garden in his yard.
Nice.
And he's got a pest. A mole keeps
By the way, I
showing
just
up.
want to say that before you finish that story,
Yeah.
my vegetable garden has nothing to do with the onset of the Paralympics, okay?
Oh,
I'm saying they're separate vegetables. I mean, it's not the same thing, all right? See why I can't go to Parliament? You see why you can't put me in Parliament? Huh? You see, even my producers go, oh. All right, so your friend has a mole.
Yes, he's got a mole problem in his vegetable garden. Oh my god. So,
I had to make your last show count.
yes,
right?
yes.
Let's
yes,
get into
please.
trouble with somebody.
Can we just?
Sure.
But anyway,
Don't pretend that's not what you come for.
yeah, that is what we come for. So back to the vegetables, the ones that are in the ground. But like, so
Hey, long jumps.
he's-
You plant yourself.
oh my goodness.
Harmeen says in the comments, she says, you already have a vegetable garden in the comment section. Spot on. I love you guys. All right. So let's get to your friend.
Oh my goodness. With all of these vegetables around, he should be making soup, man. So he's attempted, in fact, his garden kind of grows from time to time, but every 2 or 3 weeks, one of his plants are missing because this mole will just show up randomly overnight and eat his veggies.
Keep it together, Jack. Come on.
Okay. Back at it. Yeah. But yeah, I love the idea of a vegetable garden. You should.
Arbot's got
I
an
can't
old
wait.
one, but a good one. The hardest part of a vegetable to eat is the wheelchair.
That is terrible.
No one has cared about the Paralympics since Oscar ran into some trouble with the law. I'm just taking the Pistorius. Okay, very good.
Yes.
Very good,
my
Sanele.
goodness.
All right, so pests, yes, it's a real problem.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about how to deal with that, but I do have a gun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't mind if there's a serious pest problem, just blasting.
By the way, please take me
Boom,
with you the
boom,
next time
boom.
you go to the range.
Yeah,
Come.
we will. No,
Love
we'll do
it.
that.
Love
we'll do
it.
that. That's for sure. Hey, it's summer's coming, man.
Yeah.
I see everything starting to just like make its move to go green.
Right?
You know, like all the trees, there are little buds and shoots, and it's very exciting. I mean,
Like-
this is my favorite time of year. From September the 1st, I am a happy guy to be around. Everybody around me is thrilled when they're around me in September, October, November, December.
Yep.
The
Short
best
sleeve
time.
t-shirts,
Oh,
man.
man, it's going to be good.
Oh,
I'm ready for it. And I'll have a vegetable garden.
yes.
So that's going to make it even
It's
better.
going to be great.
Who knew this was going to be the main topic of discussion? I do like, you know what? The honest truth is I love a project. So if I can get into something, and I know this is something that's going to last for a while.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a quick high of like a month and you're enjoying yourself for that month and then you lose interest. like you can grow different things at different times of the year, and it does feel like something you should be able to do. I mean, our ancestors, if they didn't do this, they would die.
Yeah.
So we should all have it in us to be able to at least grow enough to eat in your fucking salad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I was introduced to that idea like when I was a kid, my grandmother. So Khalema Mutlanti's mom.
Ah, Khalema's mom.
Yes.
Whose name was?
Masifako.
Masifako.
Yes.
Very good.
We had, like, I mean, in Soweto, it's not like you've got a whole lot of space, but in the backyard, we used to grow our own watermelon, pumpkin, spinach, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So
Maroch.
Yeah, moroch. Yes. So we would every now and again she'd send us out. Then we're like, "Yo, go chop that off and let's come make some dinner." You know, and you know, with all the GMOs that are introduced into food these days, you might be better off just growing your own shit.
Hey, this is bad news, but Carl says don't get too excited. Apparently tomorrow and Friday are very cold. Puss cold, he says. Yeah, there's always that
last gasp of wind.
Yeah, there's that like vicious streak.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you leave a room after you've had a fight with someone and you've both had your say, and then she or he has to go, and you're ugly son of a bitch too. They have to throw in that last. That's winter. Winter's like this angry person, and as soon as you think you've settled things, like, okay, cool, let's agree to disagree, or something banal like that, and then you walk out, and then they're like, yeah, and you pigeon-toed. I never liked you. You've got funny teeth. One eye looks like that, and the other one like that.
Yeah.
Some vicious comment at the end of it. That's kind of what winter does.
Yeah.
Or
the ex that won't leave you alone.
Absolutely. Gareth, you're so nice today, says Snay. I feel like an idiot for being afraid you were going to tell me to F off when I saw you at the gym last week. After I said Gareth, I completely froze. Oh, is that you? I do remember somebody going, oh, Gareth. I thought, wow, that person's definitely got problems. But I didn't know it was you, Snay.
It's funny. Like,
you could have said hello. I wouldn't have been horrible.
Yeah. It's so funny how the people that you admire, somehow in your mind, you work them up so much that they stop being people. Like there's this figment in your mind. Like you couldn't just walk up and say, hi, Snai.
Yeah. Listen, it happens to all of us. I remember when I said hello to the actor Jack Nicholson courtside at an NBA All-Star game.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool place because there's a lot of famous people wandering around. I just wish I'd been more. I was so dumb. I was like, hello, Mr. Nicholson. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'd like to have said something cool to him, but you know, you can't plan these things.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You don't know what you're going to do. Plus, stuff that comes out of your mouth is inevitably going to be gut responses. It's not going to be well thought through. You know, very seldom do you have someone who's so relaxed and so capable in any situation that they just know what to say. And even the people you think can do that sometimes screw it up. And
sometimes you're surprised at yourself, right? Like there's certain people that you bump into that maybe you never thought you would.
Yeah, right.
And they catch you by surprise. You turn around and they're like, oh my God. You know?
No, that's fair.
It's a human response, I guess. It's okay.
Okay. Seeds are mostly GMO. It sucks. Few seeds from GMO veggies don't germinate. Unless you buy them from someone who's already growing stuff, like you might have a farmer friend or someone who's got a look at there's my veggie garden. See, I love that, boys. Suddenly we're in the veggie garden. Look how happy I am. Look, Farmer Gareth. Oh, hello everybody. I'm going to grow some carrots and some chives today. In fact, I look like that garden lesbian. You know, there's that show with that woman who does the.
No, I've never.
Hi, everybody. All right, what you want to do is you want to get 2 pots, right? And you want to put rocks at the bottom of the pots because then that helps with drainage. And on top of the rocks, you put some good soil, but like, I mean really properly good soil. I get it from the West Rand. That's the best place. And then after you put the soil, you put some loamy stuff and some leaf mulch and all that shit at the top. Like, I would love an honest gardening program where you actually got like...
legit info.
Yeah, you'd have like... The Garden Lesbian, brought to you by, and then you got like this really butch chick who's like, because they're the ones you want to get the advice from.
Yeah.
They're the ones who know. Yeah, seriously. And she'd go, how's it?
Yeah.
No messing around. Like, she's like, how's it? I'm the garden lesbian, right? Let's get straight to it.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would be a
Stacey,
show
I
worth
need the
watching.
spade. I
Yeah.
made that little
When
spike.
I use a shovel, I put my buffaloes on and I push down hard. That's what you want.
You put your what on?
You put your buffalo boots on and you push down hard. And I'll tell you something, there wouldn't be any of this bullshit about like dream catchers hanging.
Yeah.
She'd be like, nah, I like that cock. I like leafy plants. I like deciduous plants. That's what I'm into. I would watch that show every week. I swear to God. They just don't label these things properly. They try to like hide it. They must just make it what it is.
Oh,
Tell you what, I'm going to do it.
Man.
I'm not going to make a gardening show,
Yeah.
but I
would watch it too.
Produce that show.
I would watch it. Oh my goodness.
Do you do it on a stool when you do garden work, Gareth? Yeah, like I'm sitting here on a couch. Yeah, no. You want to be you want to see the muddy feet and all that stuff, because it's not you don't do that in a pretty way. Like gardening has got to be a mess. You got to have soil under your fingernails and to do it properly. South Africa already has a garden lesbian, says Bitcoin, but okay, but that's great. Then she must call herself that. I'm telling you, it would be great branding. Gareth can be the new Evita B, the lesbian gardener. Listen, we've learned a lot of cool stuff this week. We learned about demure on Monday, which is a big thing. Simpua started that on Friday.
She did.
You just told us what in the Gen Z world, what is the word they're using now?
Sigma.
Sigma. But we're going to be launching a new show soon. I can't tell you too much about it, where it'll be intergenerational. We'll finally have someone from, the teens and early 20s telling us about how they speak, because it's a whole different language.
It really
I
is.
don't understand a damn thing about it. And if you don't have someone like that in your world, you won't understand. It will make no sense to you.
Yep.
All right. On to some other things quickly. I see that the police are trending, but then that's normal in this country. We spoke about this briefly on Monday, but that building that burnt down, I'm still confused as to, like, how can they not track down the owner of the building? How do they not know? Because the people who were living in the building were paying rent to the
someone.
owner. So if they're paying rent, they just have to follow the money to the person who the rent's going to, and then they'll know who owns the building or who's pretending to own the building, and they can hold that person responsible.
I mean, even the idea of a hijacked building is so wild to me. Like, you hijacked an entire building. Like, how does that even make sense?
The municipality can find out how much water you're using. Are you telling me they can't tell you who owns a building?
What?
They know how many liters of water and how many megawatts or kilowatts of electricity you're using.
Yeah.
And you're telling me they can't figure out who owns a building?
That is madness.
I don't believe
it
it.
either.
Yeah. So
which is why, like, whenever I hear someone say government, I'm like, yo, guys, like, let's watch that very closely, because South Africa's government has almost gone out of its way to show us that there's always a little room for you to do whatever it is that you want, as long as you've got enough money to fill the pockets of the people who you need to fill. And seemingly the chain of command doesn't go that high, clearly. Like, you don't have to bribe too many people.
Yeah, correct.
2 or 3 people on the ground and you're fine.
But the point is, you can always follow the money.
You have to follow the money,
if whether it's electronic transactions or it's cash in an envelope, it has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So you can find out who it's going to, and you can hold them responsible. If they're the people who purport to be the owners of this building, and they're the ones who put up the illegal connections or illegal water or whatever it is that they've got going on there, the fire apparently started because of illegal connections. You know who to get.
Yep.
Like, we know who to put in jail. That's the person we got to go for. This is like the country of no accountability.
Yep. But every now and again, there's pockets of really great news that comes out of the country. In KZN, they were doing a whole host of raids and all of this stuff, and they found illegal immigrants and all of this stuff. So at least there are police people in this country that are doing their job. So salute to all the police men and women in KZN. Keep doing the good job, man. Keep doing a good job.
Agreed. Agreed. I saw our deputy president was busy. He gave a press conference yesterday about the National Council provinces. Do you know anything about that?
Isn't he like kind of our president right now? Cyril's got an eye infection or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, he was
So
like,
we are under the control of Paul Mashati.
Paul Mashati.
Okay,
As
well,
long
let's
as
see.
his security guards don't come anywhere near you, you're fine.
I didn't even know that Cyril had an eye infection. How embarrassing.
Yeah, he's got some sort of problem with his eyes and decided, hey,
Shem.
Paul, can you just quick fast
Stand in.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't even really know how often that happens. But whenever the president travels overseas, the deputy president stands in, or one of the ministers. So it could be anybody. Before, I know that once Mangosuthu Buthelezi was the stand-in president, when Thabo was president, when Thabo Mbeki was our president. And while Mangosuthu was in charge, he invaded Lesotho. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So you could have a lot of fun if you're the stand-in president.
Yeah, you can.
I think it could be quite nice.
Seriously.
Just decide, we'll take Lesotho. I mean, it didn't work.
It didn't, yeah.
But it could have been a good game, Talk about like...
Do you know what I would do? If I was like interim president, I would pardon all of my homies.
Oh, yeah. How many homies do you have in jail, though?
I've got a couple.
Jack. We're finding out all of this on your last show.
Seriously, I grew up in Middle and Soweto. It was bound to happen. Okay. And truthfully, the reason I am so street smart is because of those people that unfortunately are behind bars right now. Which is why going to jail doesn't really worry me. As long as they take me to the prison here in Joburg, I'll be fine.
Well, let us change the subject to something much more positive and useful this morning. You'll remember just the other day, we spoke to somebody about Old Mutual's SME Go. Remember?
Yeah.
And we started talking about how there is all kinds of incredible and well thought through stuff that can be very, very helpful to businesses. And we thought rather than talk to the same people over and over again, even though they might have all kinds of info for us, and we kind of ran out of time last week, but I wanted to speak to somebody who started their own business, who runs their own business, who's made use of these facilities just to show that they are actually useful. So we're going to speak to Ntombenhle Makholwa, who is the founder of Afro Botanics. We're going to find out what that is all about. She is an innovative entrepreneur and the visionary founder of Afro Botanics. It is a leading South African brand. They specialize in natural hair and beauty products. Now, this is an awesome area to be involved in. I mean, we know there's big money to be made if you do it right.
Massive.
And you have to know your stuff.
Yes.
Especially if it comes to like natural beauty and natural hair and beauty products and all of that stuff. She has become a prominent figure in the beauty and personal care industry. We're going to get to meet her. And we're going to talk a little bit about what she thinks of Old Mutual SME Go in just a moment. And that's from a business that has benefited from working with them. And I thought, who better than to talk to Ntombenhle?
The proof must be in the pudding.
That's correct. So shall we bring her in? What's this? What's going? Oh, she's wearing green. Oh, wow. Oh, Jesus. Shame, Ntombenhle. What do you guys do? Look at that. Oh, wow.
You're making
Look at
blue.
this.
Okay.
Look, they're going to change the whole thing. Well, guys, this is exciting, right?
It's working on the edge, for sure.
I like this. So we're going to have half of the background blue and half of it green. Look at these producers. This is so much fun.
This should be.
You didn't think to tell Ntombenhle to not wear green. I mean, that would have solved your problem. Oh, James.
Right.
I love this. We learn on the trot. We got a brand new set today. It's very, very exciting. Well done. Good thinking. Otherwise, she would have disappeared. Don't worry, Ntombenhle. We've got your back.
We would have been just talking to a pretty head.
I know. Yes, exactly. But at least that would have shown off the products.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So let's just talk about your business, Afro Botanics. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that and what inspired you to start the company? And first of all, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah.
Oh, very, very good. Let's see how this looks.
Let's see.
The boys have been messing around with the production. Let's see. How are we looking there, gents? Okay. All right. No problem. This is very exciting. They've literally made this happen on the trot. We'll see. I mean, Jack might come out with 3 heads in this shot, but let's give it a try. What, are you moving it around? No?
There we go.
I'm amazed that you even thought that, I mean, this is a solution.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I like this, James. Well done. Okay. Very exciting. I can't wait to see what we're going to see. Let's just give them a second. This could be quite exciting. Are we? Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, no. Now, that is a very... Look at how great you look.
That is
Domente,
so
I'm very
cool.
impressed. Okay, so tell us about Afrobotanics.
So I started Afrobotanics in 2011. So we are almost 13 years old. And it was inspired really by my need to be able to wear natural African hair. And I'm not sure if you know much about our hair, but most of the time we either straighten it with really harsh chemicals to soften it. And we wear hair extensions and human hair weaves. And I just wanted to be able to wear my hair naturally. And so we need to have ingredients that soften our hair so that we're able to comb and have the afro to manipulate it without the pain. And at the time, it wasn't a thing. So I had my grandmother was a traditional medicinal woman. She knew how to use different herbs for healing. And she showed me how they used to soften their hair using aloe vera gel, like shrubs that grow by the river that foam naturally and soften the hair, marula oil. And she used to have a huge afro underneath her covers. You know, African women usually cover. Yeah, she had a doek. And she used to be able to take care of her hair, and it was huge. And I'd never been able to, because my hair would grow to a certain point and then break off. Unfortunately, due to how, culturally and our socio-political situation, we lost the ability to pass down information on how to take care of our skin, our hair. And so then Afrobotanics was all about celebrating that, using African botanical ingredients, African heritage to take care of ourselves in a non-toxic way. Because at the time already I had a daughter, and I didn't like the fact that we use things that are mineral oil heavy, petroleum jelly heavy, which is, we see now that those kind of plastic derived ingredients are causing harm. Yeah. So that's how I started. And I started in 2011. At first I used a contract manufacturer. And then eventually I was pushed into manufacturing because I was told to get funding, I must be a manufacturer.
Right.
And
that's expensive to do on your own.
manufacturing is, if you can avoid manufacturing on your own, don't, because it's like running two businesses. Building a brand in manufacturing, you don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
From the get-go. I mean, even big guys like your Unilevers also still contract manufacturer. And it took me up until 2015 to be able to get the products into mass mart stores, and then we got into Pick and Pays, into Clicks. And we started off with about 5 products. We now have over 50 products that we produce.
Amazing.
Across natural hair, natural body, natural baby products, and even eco-friendly home care products like dishwash.
That's terrific, because we all know also that the beauty industry has had a lot of fingers pointed at it across the world for the damage they do to the ecology, the dangerous chemicals they use, the danger that they put, frankly, the customers in. And even though these things are tested, sometimes they're tested in the most unethical ways too. So I love this, and I think it would obviously appeal to people on that basis, but the fact that it works beautifully too is the most important thing, right?
It works magnificently, because we have now a new wave of mothers who want their children to grow up with natural hair, loving how they are, how they look naturally, and also just women themselves being able to go to work having their natural hair, whether it's an afro or dreadlocks like myself. And we've been doing so well that our biggest customer base, people who are searching for our products, are actually Americans. So we are looking to take our products to America in the next 5 years.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. That sounds phenomenal. I mean, you're gonna be earning dollars now.
Hopefully.
Next lunch is on you. Domente, tell me quickly about the role of SME Go, because there are a lot of things that when you're running your own business, you don't want to be paying attention to. Not that you shouldn't, but you don't have time. Like, you can't be doing everything. So how did they come in and help you with some of the processes and some of the ideas?
So I first came across SME Gold in 2021, and obviously we'd had a huge major shakeup with COVID, and that hit us in terms of our revenue. And just after that, in March 2021, we ran into the Ukraine-Russia war. And you would wonder, how would a war in Russia and Ukraine affect us? I also didn't expect that, but we found that a lot of these the natural oils that go into some of the ingredients we use come from Ukraine.
Really?
And also then there was a ripple effect where the Asian countries didn't want to supply with coconut oil and all the different ingredients that they also supply us with. And we found ourselves with a shortage of products and raw materials. And so we were not able to deliver on our orders. And that meant cash flow issues. And so I went to SME Go looking for assistance with filling in that cash flow and being able to stock up on raw materials in order for me to have enough supply for the demand. And it was very also interesting because at the time, a lot of the talk around business and manufacturing was to run a lean machine. So you wanted to have the least amount of raw materials, the least amount of stock so that you have more money going. That was the thinking and how everyone was talking at the time.
Because when stock is sitting on shelves, it's costing you money. Yeah.
Yes, that was the thinking. But the COVID and that war taught us we need to go back to the old school way of thinking and operating, where you have at least 3 months worth of stock available at any given time. So that's why I went to them to look for funding. And it was the fastest funding approval I've ever gotten.
How long did it take?
It took like maximum 2 weeks for us from application to actually getting the money. And at the time, I didn't even have a record of working with them.
But I mean, let's just think about the consequences of that not happening, because for you and so many other small businesses, especially at that time, this is make or break stuff.
Yeah.
Here you are, you've already put blood and sweat and toil into how many years of work before that.
Yeah.
And then due to no fault of your own, you find yourself in a position where it's like survival.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hadn't have got that, then it could have meant the end of your amazing business.
It could have. I mean, I had been banking with a particular bank for years, but it still takes about 2 months to get, your overdraft, your loans. They were really, I mean, I've gone for different types of fundings over the years.
Yeah.
And they were the fastest that I was able to.
That's incredible.
2 weeks is an amazing
kudos to them
time.
because also it's very difficult. Anyone who's got a business in this country at the moment knows right now to get funding for anything is almost impossible because the kinds of things that they want are things that you can't often give. Projections for the next 5 years or financial statements, contracts, current suppliers, all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's very hard to get that.
Yeah.
And if you're in a pinch like you were, credit to them and credit to you because obviously you were driving this.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're in a very healthy position.
Well, we're in a growth position. I mean, you're always trying to grow and reinvest in the business.
Of course.
We're in year 13 and natural products are still a niche product. So now we're still trying to go into more your mass. We've been available mainly at your Clicks types of stores.
Yeah.
And now we want to be available in every spaza. So that's the current project we're busy with. And we have people at the JSE assisting us to get into the spazas. It's always a constant. It's not, you never get comfortable, but it's always reinvesting for growth to go to the next level.
It's very exciting.
It's exciting and scary, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm curious also about your own feelings about this now, having been at the helm and starting your own thing and surviving that very tough time to going into this growth phase that you're talking about. When people say to you, "Oh, it must be so great to be an entrepreneur," what do you say to them?
Look, Gareth, I wouldn't have it any other way. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's really hard. I've never been so stressed in my life for continuous amount of time.
Sure.
But I still wake up excited to go to work. Before I left, I was in government before I got into this. Oof. And I felt so uninspired. I felt so drained. But now every day I wake up and it's exciting. I know I'll meet up or encounter huge problems. Our truck will either will break down or we were part of the people who got looted and we had to claim. So there's always something exciting that's going on. And also for me, it's about making a difference because my brand really is about helping women and young Black girls to see the power of who they are. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy coming up with new ways of communicating that and empowering people.
Well, when people talk about like profits and balance sheets and projections and the kinds of risks and rewards that you take, what you're talking about there is, I think, beyond that in terms of where your ultimate goal is, and that is the purpose, right? Which is to help these young women in a market that hasn't always served them, where they haven't had necessarily the number of options that they have. I think it's amazing. You're changing people's lives.
And I mean, also pioneering, because I mean, like the other day, some company was doing market research, or even when you Google, even check chat, Afrobotanics comes up as one of those leading African brands, not just African, because we're actually going toe to toe, head to head with American, with your big guys. And being in a pioneering space can be hard and scary at the same time. But I think that we need to change a lot of things. I'm part of those group of brands that are changing how our shelves look. The fact that a lot of our grocery stores, our, the Pick and Pays are still 90% export products when we want to be manufacturing. I mean, import products. We want to be manufacturing because the more we manufacture, the more jobs we create, and the more jobs we create, the bigger the economy. So it's fun to be at the forefront of trying to change that reality.
Seemingly working for the government builds so much discontent that you have to change the industry.
I tell you.
I love it.
No, please, we can't even go into the conversation about
Well, I get the feeling maybe Leanne is in the hair industry, because she says, would you go into the professional hair industry and train Afro hairstylists?
That's actually an opportunity we're looking at, because most of our hairstylists, we've got over 26,000 hair salons in the country, targeting, those that are looking at African hair, and only 95% of them are not trained. So
my girlfriends who are black, always, when they start talking about hair, I just step the hell out of that conversation. First of all, because it is not something I want to find myself in the crosshairs of, if you'll pardon the pun, the use crosshairs. But I mean, there's so much there that I don't understand. And when they do talk about it, it is fascinating to me how long some women sit in the chair at those hair salons to get the whatever it is, the weave, the braids, extensions, the braids, the dreadlocks done. It is major. We're talking like 8 hours sometimes. It's incredible.
I grew up in a family that has more women than men. So the hair struggles, I saw them up front from the time I was a kid.
For sure.
One of my cousins has been growing her dreadlocks for about 21 years now.
Wow.
They are magnificent. And she's one of those people that does her hair herself. And she used to do our hair as well. And we'd always have to find different types of products and try mix and match with this one and whatnot. So Afrobotanics sounds like something that a lot of people have been looking for.
We solved the problem for so many. But you're right. I've got an 8-year-old daughter, and I was feeling sorry for her because she wanted braids. And she was in the chair for like 8 hours. Imagine an 8-year-old. But that's what she wanted, you know. But the fact that we, from a young age, but now she has the opportunity to learn how to take care of her own hair. Something that I never had the opportunity to do.
And when I think about like our hair, it's we can style it in so many different ways. Sometimes you're like, when you see a dog and there's 7 balls that are thrown in its direction, you don't know.
It doesn't know which one to pick.
It's like, okay.
I know, again, like every time I've worked with some of the amazing black women I've worked with, their hair changes way more regularly, and there's so much more exciting shit going on there than with somebody who's always got a ponytail. Do me a favor, okay? So like my hair's been the same forever. It's boring as hell, but I remember every single time, like even Pumi, like every other week she surprises me, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it changes regularly. So okay, we've talked a bit about your company and about what Old Mutual SME Go does, but as an entrepreneur, do you get asked for advice often by young people who want to get into owning their own business, running their own business, starting up something from scratch?
All the time. And I think that's what I'm liking about the SME Go platform and just that family, where they're trying to bring entrepreneurs together so that we are able to connect. Because when I started out, it's so difficult to understand the world of retail. How does retail work? The pricing, how to price your product. I mean, I made huge major mistakes pricing products. And that's because there was no one to ask at the time. And even when you go into the MBA, you don't get some of the inner information around how retail works. And a lot of entrepreneurs want to put their products in retail, and being able to advise them and guide them to say, look, retail is a big boys game. It's about numbers, it's about moving volumes, and perhaps rather start on a take-a-lot, for example, than...
Sure.
So I love being able to share and guide people.
And is your stuff available on there as well?
And Take-a-Lot, it is available. But we actually want to be more aggressive on that platform. I think there's a huge opportunity there.
And do you have a place where people can go to find out more about your business?
Yes, we have our website, afrobotanics.com.
Very good.
Yeah, we're available at Clicks.
Amazing.
And all of those kind of stores.
Well, this is very inspiring, and I'm so glad we got to spend a bit of time with you this
glad
morning.
to meet an entrepreneur like yourself too. I did bring some
Jack,
products.
that's not for you.
No, I'm holding it up for the camera.
I did bring some products though. I thought
Let's have a
I
look.
was-
Yeah,
I thought I
let's
was
take a
talking
look.
to a female.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, these are some of the products.
That's
I have a
awesome.
collaboration with.
I've seen these on the shelves.
Yeah. So,
Huh.
and we had.
What are these? Just tell us what they are.
So this is
quickly.
like a strengthening reconstructive hairspray to
Nice.
soften and strengthen your hair. This is a hair conditioner. This is the thing that most women want, which is like your hair growth and hairline.
Right.
So is this as well, a hair oil to help you. Oh, and we have a really great gel because I think you're wearing hair gel.
No, this is like I
No
put in
gel.
like I use like a leave-in conditioner.
Oh, okay.
That's my thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, don't try and help me
good.
with this hair. You're gonna have everyone who has tried has had a
But you've
terrible
got
time.
good hair.
That's not bad. It's okay. Thank God, because I would look terrible bald. I had this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. I'm like, if I were bald, I would be very ugly. Very. Okay, so listen, Don Bentley, it's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you.
Great.
And
Okay.
I'm so glad that you got to be with us this morning. You can find out more at Afrobotanics on their website. And Don Bentley Makola, it is a pleasure to have you here.
Katwane.
Oh, why did they put
why
that
did they
down?
call it?
They gave me the wrong surname. How embarrassing.
Oh,
Sorry, I promise you that's what's written here. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would have done it right.
I'm
so
sure it's our
thank you.
people.
All right, so there we go. This is the Gareth Cliff Show on the Real Network, and we will be back Wednesday morning. Jack,
Yeah.
thank you for being on the show, dude.
Oh man, it's been an absolute pleasure.
We'll
We've had so much fun.
We'll see each other again soon.
Yeah, we will.
Don't you worry.
Definitely.
In the meantime, check
Um,
out Jack's show. He's with the Podcast Party, and he's on live on a Tuesday morning.
Yes, it's the pod with Jack Mutlante. Join the journey, people.
Excellent. And I will see you tomorrow on the Burning Platform, which is also right there.
Mhm.
And on Friday, right back here in our new little setup, which I love.
Yeah, this is cool.
Very good.
Mm.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you Friday.